Since I haven't filmed a proper walk-around video on the Camry yet, or at least one that goes through all the features on here with a proper test drive, a few people asked for it, so today I'm going to give it to you. Why? So with all that being said, let's go ahead and take it out for a drive. Start with a look at the exterior. Now, I will be getting new headlights eventually. I will be getting a bumper bracket for both sides because it does require to remove the bumper when you replace the headlights, so I'll get the bracket while I'm there so I could get this bumper back in. But this car's 131,000 miles on it, almost 132,000 now, and it's held up really well. It looks really nice. I think these Camrys look pretty modern, even for today's day. I think it definitely looks better than the 2025 Camry. That's for sure. I just don't like the way that car is proportioned and the way it looks. This one is really nice. These older Camrys just look really good. This might be the best looking Camry outside of the 2018 model. So this one's a 4-cylinder XLE, so it has a one single exhaust tip. The V6 model will give you two. It'll give you another one on this side, and the V6 exhaust fits, so someday I might actually get the V6 system. That way you get the dual outlet exhaust and it looks cool and symmetrical. I also plan on getting a spoiler, a little lip spoiler too. This is a very nice looking car, and yes, I did have the tint removed very recently. I would say if you want a nice looking car, it's pretty modern, in 2024 at this point, maybe you don't need a newer Camry, because these older ones, they just last a really long time. I'll give you a little peek under the hood, and I'll show you everything inside. To get inside, this one, because it's an XLE, has a smart key system. Yeah, this key is not. This is a Toyota key put in a Lexus shell, so yes, I did put it in, and it looks much nicer. It fits the aesthetic with the XLE a little nicer. Some people look at me funny when I film. Anyways, this has a smart key system, so you push to lock, and then the touch sensor behind the handle, so you just pull it and it unlocks for you. So let's just turn on real quick. XLEs, you put your foot on the brake, and you push the button to start. So now it's on, let's go ahead and pop the hood and I'll show you in the engine. So in here is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. The engine by itself makes 178 horsepower and 170 pound-feet of torque. Made it to a 6-speed automatic, but this is a the hybrid version. So this one makes 200 horsepower with a planetary gear set hooked up to it. See, I've kept this engine bay very clean. I had to repaint this. It started to just not clean up well, so I just repainted it black. And yes, this engine does get hot. Now, one thing I will note with these engines is as they age, they do burn some oil. These 2.5 liters, we all know about the 2A ZFE, but the 2A RFE has had 10,000 mile oil change intervals. And if you didn't change your oil at 5,000 miles and you're actually followed by 10,000, these cars would burn oil. So this car only burns about a quart-ish every 2,000 miles, which really isn't terrible. Actually, it might burn a little less than that, but that's something to keep in mind with these 2A RFEs as they age. So I'll give you a walk around inside. Closing the door. Just have my water bottle down there. It's very solid feeling. Everything inside feels really tight and feels nice. Some of the things like to move around though, like these mirror switches, if you push them too hard, it'll just like fall right out of its holder, which is funny. Coming to the wheel, I'm gonna have to replace this at some point because this leather kind of wore out and doesn't look very good. You do have your phone controls here, and you can go through like your speed dial, which I'm glad doesn't open right now. I would show you what that looks like, but I have people's numbers on there, so I'm not doing that. Then you have the buttons on the wheel and a display button as well if you get an XLE. So I show you all the features here. So in the display button, you push on display, you get eco drive level, energy monitor if you have a hybrid, settings, so you can go through your language, your eco indicator, your EV indicator, an exit. So your eco indicator is, there's a set of lights over there that light up. You'll see that on the drive as they move up and down, show you your instantaneous gas mileage. Then you have your average, or your range, till empty, your average speed, your eco drive level. Intermittent speed wipers here, headlights here. I typically use auto most of the time, but with things like with daylight saving time, I actually would drive it with the parking lights on. Now that it gets darker sooner, I actually drive with auto headlights because it gets dark on my way home. And the auto headlights work fantastic, and you can control them through here. So this is the 6.1-inch Entune system. You may have saw the video. If you haven't seen it already, I'll link in the description down below and in the iCard right here in this corner. I tried to put the 7-inch head unit in and it didn't work. But this is the 6.1-inch base Entune system. See if I go to audio, and you get all your options here. USB and auxiliary an option. There is no satellite radio on this. You'd have to get the one with the Entune apps. Then that will work, and the apps button would live right here. And then this play pause button would live up here. And you'd be able to go through all your different menus for that. But going to audio, I'm not going to demonstrate this. I might, but I don't know if I will, because copyright strike. I don't want to get strike. Yeah, the phone button here that you can control by the wheel. You don't get any voice control until you get the either a 2014 and a half, where they all come standard with it, or you get the upgraded apps system. I'm not sure if putting the voice control on the steering wheel actually does it. I might give it a shot just to see what it does, and if it works, that'd be great. But there's no menu in this head unit for it to work, so probably not going to work. You have your seek and track buttons here. You have car. Now, this car does have TPMS, but weird thing with hybrids is that you can't actually check your tire pressure. On the gas ones you can, and there'd be a back button here and it would say fuel consumption or tire pressure. That option doesn't exist for me. You have your trip history, so that's normal. That's not hybrid specific. That's not hybrid specific, with the exception of the regeneration. And the energy monitor, that gives the energy flow meter, which looks super outdated and ugly, and I don't like how it looks. But that's fine. Also, word of warning, if you get a hybrid and you choose to put an aftermarket screen in here, you will lose the energy monitor, so you have to use one in the center. It's fine, I don't use it anyway. Unless I need to. Play pause button lives here. If you go to setup, I'll show you all the controls in here. So if you go to display, there'd be a night mode or a day mode, night mode when you have the headlights on, or when the headlights are automatically on. There's a screen off button. This is great if you don't have the audio on and you don't need this, just turn it off. And it's also good for cleaning the display as well. And you can adjust the brightness and the contrast in here. And that back button you can't control using this button here on the wheel, but you can't actually use the D-pad to move around this interface. You can only use it when you're listening to music. Then go to general settings, and you could change the beep display captured image. That would be if you had album art, but the base head unit doesn't actually know what album art is. It can't detect it, so that's pretty much useless. Animation, so basically when you turn that off, there wouldn't be an animation when you click on things. Bluetooth is obviously your Bluetooth settings. Wait, I'll be careful what shows up when I press that. Okay, nothing. Okay, thank God. And it gives you all of your information here. All your different, I guess these might be all your different Bluetooth codecs. It gives it to you. And a default settings button. Going to phone. I have my phone taken off Bluetooth right now, so you don't see all my stuff, but it'll give me like ringtone options and a phone book. Going to your vehicle settings, you have auto lock by speed, so you go 15 miles an hour over, locks the doors for you. Auto lock from shift to park, so if you take it out of park, it locks the doors. If you put it in park, it unlocks the doors. Remote to press unlock, that means if you want to unlock the passenger door as long as the driver's door, you actually have to toggle that on. That way it'll be set up just for one person to enter the car. That's great if you're alone at night and you don't want to risk someone being able to jump in the passenger seat, let's say a criminal. So that's a good feature to have. I have this turned all the way off. I always have it off. It's the unlock tone, so if you heard when I was getting in the car, when I was locking and unlocking the car, it didn't beep. That's because I have that off. And it does not swipe. Only the 7-inch screen swipes. You actually have to push the little buttons on the side. Then you have your headlight on sensitivity. So I have it on, so the headlights will turn on as soon as it meets its limit to turn itself on and not wait any longer. Headlight off timer. So if you have your auto headlights on and you shut the car off at night, it'll keep the lights on for however long you want. You can easily override that by grabbing out the key fob and pushing the lock button twice, just like you can in the old Camrys. And then daytime running lights, those I leave on. Those are nice to have. When you start the car, automatically the daytime running lights will not turn on until you release the parking brake. You release the parking brake, then it turns on. And that's it for all the settings in here. Down here, you have the dual zone automatic climate control. I have a little thing to say about this. The air conditioning is fantastic. The heater is not. If it gets super cold, I would preheat the car. Basically, walk out to your car, start it, get out of the car, and then use the key shank in the smart key and lock the doors. That way you keep the car on, but the door's locked. And you could, when you have this set to high, it'll heat the cabin. It'll be warm when you get in. Because it does take about 5-ish minutes, or like 3 miles of driving for the heater to work. And if you just do that just 5 minutes sooner, it'll be much nicer getting in the car. I would know because the other day was 48 degrees when I left to go to school, and this heater was not working very well. So the next day, I decided to just preheat before I left. I'm not sure if other Camrys, if they do the heaters a little bit better. Maybe it's just my car, but yeah, I would not the best. So I would actually set it to preheat. Automatic does not do automatic temperature control like I thought it did. I thought it did, but it didn't. You get obviously the dual zone climate. I like having the both sides match. Defrost, front window defrost works great. Back window defrost does not, but the mirror demister works fantastic. Okay, taking my phone charger out. See, I have quite a lot in here. You can fit a lot. If you have a smaller phone, let's say like a Samsung S10e or an iPhone XS, you can actually fit the phone in this compartment here. Bigger phones like my S20 FE won't fit. 12-volt power outlet here, and the world's slowest USB charger. So I put in this $2 light from AliExpress that really brightens up this little space at night because the space doesn't have a light. There's obviously like this little removable rubber insert that you can clean. Super easy to clean. Yeah, I would highly advise never using this to charge. This does work fantastic with iPods. So if you have like one of those old stick iPod shuffles, you can actually sort through playlists and stuff on those that you can't actually do through the iPod itself, but the car screen can. Going down to your shifter. The shift knob doesn't look like this. I pulled this off an older Camry because I like the feel of it a little bit better. But I'll talk about my plans for the car for the interior soon because this is one of the things that'll go. If you get a hybrid, you get a B mode. which works really well. It's great in traffic, great on a back road. I use it as a form of a sport mode, which is really nice. On a gas Camry, you'd actually get a sport mode where you move it to the side and then you could shift it up and down like this, or use paddles if you have an SE, which is nice. My parking brake is on. Down here you get 2 cup holders with a removable insert, and you get your heated seat controls here, if you have an XLE or an SE, and your EV Eco Mode buttons, which I unplugged because I like driving it like a normal car. So I don't like having the weird throttle map, and sometimes people accidentally push on these, so I just unplugged them. If you choose to get the heated seat switches, and put it on a car without heated seats, and you go actually plug heated seats in, it's not pre-wired for the heated seat switches, so it won't work. Down here's a storage compartment with another 12-volt power outlet. This 12-volt power outlet, maybe it's just my car, but doesn't work great. The 12-volt power outlets like to pop out of here, and mine did wear out on one side, so it's super loose on this side, which I'll replace eventually because it bothers me. You do get a sliding armrest, and I did buy this center console tray, which I'll link in the description below. I have a little tire compressor, a reading glasses for my mom, and a few other stuff. But this tire gauge I had to buy because I thought this car had TPMS, which it does and it doesn't. Depends on what model you get and which one, what type you have. It's really confusing. This tray does lift out, and you do get, I'm not great at lifting this out, but you do get a massive storage compartment down there. I love that this slides. That's fantastic. I didn't know it until like 4 months after I bought the car, and it's great that it slides because it's so much easier to grab onto the wheel. And over here, I have a lot of stuff in here, but basically it's a really big glove box, and it's lockable. Passenger seat on an XLE does not move. You have to pay extra if you wanted that to move. Auto dimming electric chromatic rearview mirror. You can see how nice it is to see. Now they don't have tint, so the tint that was on this car was some sort of limo tint, apparently. If you have any passes or anything, it's actually kind of hard to put it behind the window. So like my parking pass, I had to stick it back here. But the best part is that it doesn't move around. You also get some sort of a built-in sunshade. You can put that down, and these are huge, so they do an excellent job blocking out the sun. No vanity lights though. Here's some lights. This has some aftermarket LEDs that suck. They eventually turn into party lights. They like to blink, see it's doing it already. Here's the speaker for the Bluetooth system, and here's a spot for glasses. So that's really it with the interior of like a base XLE. If you get one with DRLs, if you get an SE with DRLs, the DRL button will live here. If you get one with blind spot monitoring, the blind spot button will live here. This is your traction button. So if you push this once, it turns off traction control. But if you hold it for 10 seconds, it'll turn off vehicle stability control completely. And then you can go wild with it, and the car will not do anything to interfere. And it'll just let you have all the fun in the world if you're taking your Camry on the track. I don't know who wants to do that, but if you want to, that's there. Over here would be your tachometer with a 6,500 RPM red line. This is the hybrid, so it has like a hybrid system indicator. But you have your gear position down there. So you can put it, it shows you when you put it in sport mode, it gives you the gears. So there's the temperature outside, and it tells you the engine temperature. Speedometer middle. All Camrys have a 140 mile speedometer. Your fuel gauge for your 17-gallon tank. Your average MPG with the lights for the instant MPG, and your odometer, which I can switch through here. And on this side also, you do have brightness levels for your gauge cluster. You see as they get brighter and dimmer. So it's a really nice interior. I do really like how it looks. And you do get a clock up here. But let me give you a look in the back seat. So coming to the back seat, There's so much room in here, and it's super comfortable. I mean, I have the front seat adjusted to my position to drive, and look at all the legroom I have. I mean, it's just legroom forever. On an XLE, you do get vents in the back, your wood grain, from the nice plastic trees, your window switch control, your door lock, which I only just realized now I have to lock out on this side. That's just so passengers don't go entering the street. That side's open. Back here you do have a fixed headrest, which you've heard me complain about a lot. 2025 they actually fixed that, but it makes it annoying if you want to get seat covers. And I wanted to get like some universal leather seat covers because I had some on my 2002 that I had before this, and I can't get any that'll fit because these headrests don't move. So if you want to get seat covers, you have to get custom fit ones. They got rid of the little pull handle a long time ago. You actually have to stick your hands in and pull it. You guys know that this cup holder likes to come out for no reason, and I don't know why. So you can see where it latches on. So I may have to get creative on how I hold this in place. I'll try to just get it in enough, and that seems to do. No more recline on these Camrys. They got rid of that in 2011. Here's the vent if you get the hybrid model. That's a cooling vent. Seatbelts, again, they got rid of the seatbelt comfort guides a long time ago. Here's your rear package tray. Here's your ISOFIX child anchor point. You have 2 speakers back there. So no speakers in the doors. You have speakers in the front doors. You have speakers in the front. So it's a 6-speaker system. If I sit in the middle seat, I have plenty of leg room, of course. And I have a lot of headroom as well. So you see what the front looks like. So this is the light gray interior, only the hybrids have. Map pockets. Here's the AC vent. And here's the passenger side. So take a look at the trunk. Back seats do have airbags as well, so that makes a part of the 10 airbags. So let's take a look at the trunk. So because this car is a smart key, there's a button here. If you have one with a backup camera, that lives right there. Here's the emergency pull. And you can see the hybrid and the regular Camry do have the same amount of trunk space. However, because the hybrid battery lives here, you only get one seat fold down. So you get this little pass-through, and the seat only folds down just on that side, so you can't really fit too much in here. But I just have a bag here, another bag here. The 12-volt battery lives back here. But you do get plenty of room. So you could easily fit 5 people's worth of luggage and 5 people and go on a trip with room to spare, which is nice. And this car does have a spare tire. Not a full size, but the wheel well is big enough for you to put a full size in. So that's great. And the car isn't that big either. It's only 189 inches long, so it's not too long. The car does take regular gas, which is fantastic. If you get the 3.5 liter 2G RFE though, you do have to put premium in it. And these hybrids do recommend premium, although 87 it'll run fine. I've talked about how great the paint's held up, but you already know that this whole back of the car got replaced. So the paint looks obviously fantastic. The paint in the front though hasn't held up as well as I wanted it, as I thought it was going to. It looked more shiny when I bought it, and then now it's like faded, and you see the hood faded a little. I'm gonna have to find a way to fix that. There's also some sort of PPF clear bra here that I'm gonna try and peel off, because it's, or have someone peel off for me at some point. You can see it's right there. Because this bumper feels really weird when you clean it and doesn't clean up all that well. There's the fog lights down below. And Here are the 17-inch wheels on some tires that I'm not really a fan of. The car is on its original brakes, which is really impressive, but that's because it's a hybrid. It uses regenerative braking. Overall, it's a very solid package, so I'd recommend this car. I mean, I got this last year, 2022, and I have no complaints with it. My first car was that blue Camry, and I loved it so much I got another. So I'm obviously going to recommend this car to people. I won't recommend a car that I won't drive, that I wouldn't drive myself. And if I drive a car myself, it means probably means I really like it, which I do. I love this car. So I would highly recommend one of these. It just looks really nice. Doesn't look too old. I remember in the commercials when these cars looked really cool and like interesting. They made it sporty and like took people on roller coaster rides with them, and it was really cool. I thought it was like one of the coolest cars I've ever seen. Yes, I did think the Camry was a cool car, and look at me now, I have a Camry. So see, because the AC is running, you could hear it. The electric AC. It's very nice. Let's talk about plans for mods, and then we'll take it out for a drive. So number one, headlights. Told you those are gonna go. Rear spoiler, yes. The dual outlet exhaust at some point, definitely. The exhaust system itself's not too expensive. It's finding someone that could actually put it on that'd be more expensive. I did have the tint recently removed, and it makes it much easier to see out of, and it makes the inside of the car feel bigger. So here's the back seat folded down. You can only fold down one side. And as for the seats, I want to get the ash interior, the ash leather and ultra suede that the XLE V6 has. I think it would look cool. I already got the XLE V6 door trims right there. I want to get black floor mats at some point because you'll notice in the front, these gray floor mats do get dirty. So I do want to get black ones at some point. It doesn't look fantastic, so yeah, I'll have to get rid of those and get some black ones. It just looks much better. Obviously, I'll get the ash seats, covers or skins. I would like to reupholster this seat, although it might just be better if I just buy the seats. I want to get the XLE V6 wood grain dash panels. These little guys, which like this one for example, just pops right out. So that's how this side is held on. So I do want to get that panel. Make sure I put that on right. And I would like to get the wood grain for the center, although the wood grain for the center doesn't actually fit because they never actually made one for hybrid, only for the gas model. But there's the SE Hybrid Limited Edition that has this, well, this same silver trim in the center. So I'll try and get that, and then get the XLE V6 wooden shift knob, and then I have just simple silver and wood interior. This will also be a silver panel, and then I would like to get the black engine start button instead of this blue one. That would complete it for me. I really don't want to do much in here. I just kind of want to upgrade it a little. This touchscreen, I'm going to try and put a backup camera in because there are backup camera kits that exist. And it already has a wire for it. So if I could put that in and wire in Sirius XM, because I think that might be doable. I think it changes up the setup menu when you put when you hook up a Sirius XM aerial to it. So that's something that I'd want to do as well. Besides that, it's not much. So let's go ahead and take it out for a proper drive because I've never actually done that before. So, if you haven't noticed so far, this has been a very laid-back video, and that's the whole point. I don't want to go too crazy for this car. I've already done a ton of videos like that, so I wanted to make this a laid back video, something just like more peaceful. These cars have plenty of power. You can go from 178 horsepower to 268 horsepower, from 21 miles per gallon city and 3100 30 roll. And power. Now 60. 60 to 80. So it does that with ease. There's nothing wrong with these. I can't find a reason not to buy them. Anybody that's considering one, just buy one. Don't hesitate. Don't go looking for anything else. Don't look at the Accord. The Accords aren't as good. Okay, these are better cars. The Accord will obviously handle better, but you get a sense of peace when you operate. I get a sense of peace when I operate a Toyota product. That's for sure. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video on the Camry, the full walk around and the test drive, because I never made one. This was a more laid back, more chill video. I hope you enjoyed it. You guys can tell me if you want more laid back videos like this, or more serious videos. I'm willing to do either. Just give me some feedback in the comment down below. Besides that, like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you like all my videos, and hope you guys enjoy.